Hey everybody, it's Flex Money from Bonfire ATL, and this is The Dan Show.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dan Show podcast. I have a longtime friend and a very special guest. My boy Brian Flex Wynder is here to join us to talk about the many things he have going on in the city. So Brian, what's been good with you, bro?
Man, life, bro. Life's been good, man. Just staying busy, trying to keep these projects rolling and bring something new to the city every chance that we get, you know?
So, like, I haven't seen you probably in a few years, and just like some other folks we have on the podcast, I kind of have seen you just like in passing. Maybe at the Intercontinental at one time, which might have literally been the last time I bumped into you.
Facts.
But obviously we know each other through Grady High School, and we got to become more familiar and friendly with each other through playing JV basketball. Man, I haven't thought about...
That's hilarious, because I forgot about that.
Right, I haven't thought about JV basketball in a while, but shout out to Coach Brown.
I think that's what we is.
Yeah, Coach Brown. I can't remember who the bigger coach was. You say MacGyver that thing. But yeah, we had some ridiculous times playing basketball. Me and Gerald talk about, I see Gerald all the time. We talk about them basketball days. You know, shout out to Coach Slade.
I thought that was going to be my career at one point.
I think we all did, bro. Like, that's the crazy part about becoming an adult and realizing you didn't quite make the athletic cut.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm in better shape now than I was then. Absolutely. Maybe if I could take my body now back to my 18-year-old self, I might be able to do something. But, you know, everything happens as supposed to.
Right.
So, probably after high school, I might have just saw you once or twice in passing. I think we had a little party you had a little party at a hotel one time.
Damn.
Long time ago. That's like 2005, Sheridan Hill.
I was fresh out of high school.
I was seeing you at the Midtown Bowling at one time. We almost caused a nuclear holocaust in the parking lot. You're right. It's a lot of... Look, we ain't got to go into too many specifics.
I think that was Ashanti's birthday.
Yes, it was Ashanti's birthday. And,
shout out to Ashanti.
Kings got a little prickly in the parking lot with some fellas. But, you know.
That's that Midtown Bowling.
Yes, bro. I don't know what it is.
Hey, man,
I hadn't thought about that. Really, I started thinking about it. I was like, when the last time I really just spoke to this man, Brian, other than in passing for like 2 minutes? So I'm so glad that you was able to come on.
Definitely, man. Had to.
I want to jump right in and ask, what was the transition like for you coming out of high school and then moving into like a professional realm, particularly locally in the city?
Man, well, that's funny that you brought up JV basketball because that's, you know, I was in the middle of basketball when I first started working in high school. And so when I first started working there, I was working at, I think, Smoothie King was one of the first jobs I got, running around there. But I was still hustling and doing my thing or whatever. But I started running to this money, and the money started making a little bit more sense than the dreams at the time. So, because of the circumstances at the time. So that's pretty much what kind of started my whole, you know, business mindset off. Like, okay, well, let me kind of focus on getting this bread. You know what I'm saying? I was able to manage my school stuff at the same time, but the money was just coming in so fast. It was like, okay, let me focus on this. You know what I'm saying?
What were the early business dreams compared to how it steered and how it really? What were the early business dreams compared to the things that played out that you might not have had on your radar early?
Well, I guess I ain't really, before I went to college, I ain't really know what I wanted to do per se, you know what I mean? At one point I called it a suicidal cop at the time, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to kind of be in some action at one point in my life, then at another point in my life I wanted to, be a rapper and thought I was gonna play basketball, that sort of thing, man. But like I said, when reality hit, it was just like, shit, I gotta
get some money.
Yeah, that was the only thing that mattered at the time. I wanted to buy certain things. I wanted to be in certain places. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to look a certain way, that sort of thing. So the only way I could ever, figure that part out is if I had some money in my pocket. So, I was like, whatever that is, I want to be able to generate some kind of income, you know what I mean? So as far as on the business and all that kind of stuff, it wasn't necessarily my first thought at the time, which just how do I get this bread, you know what I mean?
So was the Pop ATL, was the Pop shirts, was that your first business venture?
Now, my first actual business venture was I owned a video production company.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's funny, I owned a studio when I was rapping at the time. That's where the name Flex came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I owned a studio, and to kind of supplement some of the income, we were hustling. We were doing studio time stuff like that. But I went and got a job at McDonald's just to get some steady income flowing. And I was in college at the time for video production at the Art Institute, and my boy Mike, he was trying to get me to come and do this interview at this gig. And it was funny because although I was working at McDonald's, I was only making like $6.15 an hour.
And what year is this?
This is like 2005-ish, 2006.
Yeah, so you're fresh. You're 19. You're 19 years old.
Basically, yeah. But I was still out here in the street, making some money and shit. So to supplement that income, the money from the studio, the money from the street, you know what I'm saying? I was making some good little dough, you know what I mean? And then me and my bro, we had worked we had kind of worked the system up there at McDonald's to where wasn't nobody really working up there, so we ended up working like doubles and triples. And basically quadrupling our bread, so we turned $6.15 to down to $30 an hour at McDonald's.
Overtime.
Yes, at a McDonald's.
So
overtime,
just hanging out and eating Big Macs.
Bro, basically, bro. So you know what I'm saying? We were just in there wilding out, you know what I mean? But long story short, it took my bro a while to get me away from the McDonald's. He like, bro, I got this opportunity for you come over here do some video production. They start a production team and all this other stuff, and I'm like, what they paying, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? He like, what you mean what they paying? I'm like, I need to see some numbers, you know what I'm saying? So we went back and forth for a while, and finally I came over there, and it was a Rolling Out magazine.
Okay.
We basically ended up birthing the television department, you know what I'm saying?
I had forgotten about that portion. I've been trying to pick my minds like, hey, what all things you remember Brian did? I forgot about the Rolling Out part.
Yeah, that's Rolling Out. And Rolling Out honestly what put me on to a lot of the different industries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because from a video, as a videographer, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't a lot of professional videographers at that time, you know what I'm saying, in Atlanta. It wasn't as saturated as it is now.
That was at a time before Atlanta had popped as like this new Hollywood. Everybody got a camera. Everybody
It wasn't Hollywood at the time. At that time, Atlanta was buzzing on the music scene.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? BMF was popping at that time. You know what I'm saying? What had just happened around that time? T.I. was buzzing. Killer Mike was buzzing. You know, they had that whole era. Lil Jon. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff was going on. You know what I mean? And so a lot of stuff was moving and shaking down here from an industry standpoint in Atlanta. So, they wanted to capture a lot of stuff. A lot of events was going on, you know what I'm saying? And so the company I worked for, Munson, shout out to Munson Steve, you know what I'm saying? He had a way of going in and capturing different types of events and then packaging it up, you know what I'm saying? Delivering it to his clients in a way that nobody else was doing it from a marketing standpoint at that time. Yeah. There wasn't a big thing with video on your website. It wasn't a big thing with video coming to your phone or different things like that. Sending video emails and stuff like that. So what you know is like a webisode from an urban standpoint, you know what I'm saying? We were one of the first ones to kind of package that up on an urban scale, you know what I'm saying?
That was an untapped market.
Exactly.
Whereas, every other person have a camera now these days. You know what I mean? Have the capability, whether they know how to use it or not, like every other person had a capability of like doing that with the equipment they have. So after rolling out into, what you say, that's 2007 at this point?
Yeah, I was introduced probably like 2006, about 2006. I was there for about 5 years maybe, you know what I'm saying? But it was a dope situation because I was around all the celebrities you could think of, you know what I'm saying? I was traveling, going to all these different, different events, everything you could think of from red carpets, award shows, you know what I'm saying? So we got a chance to basically be behind the scenes and on the scenes, you know what I'm saying, for a lot of those different situations. Stuff captured a lot of history. Got a chance to meet Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying, all kind of crazy stuff. But what I learned was different industries because we were not only doing entertainment, you know what I'm saying, we had clients that was in like healthcare, we had clients that was in politics, we had clients that was in food, you know what I'm saying, agriculture, things like that. So I got a chance to tap into these different, you know, markets and industries and stuff from a video, you know, perspective, but I was able to take in this information, you know what I'm saying, to see how different things were moving and stuff.
That was also an interesting time because that was a transitionary era of like the paper, because Rolling Out was still a paper publication, but that was during the time where that was about to die.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Paper
so
was on
it's
the
like,
death. Yep.
you was there while it was still paper, but
during the
a part of the transition over onto the computer.
Yeah, Vibe magazine was on the way out. It was a whole lot of people that was, you know, on the verge. They couldn't really figure out how to branch over.
It,
you know what I'm saying? So that digital era was taking this transition, and you know, Rolling Out was definitely ahead of its time during that time. But trying to, you know, well, not even trying, they really did it. You know what I'm saying? As far as setting the example of how to take a urban paper and, you know, transition to this digital era that we in now.
So you say you was there for like 5 years to like 2012?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So is it around the time you start the shirt printing company?
Closely, yeah. So around that time, I actually started my production company, and so when I made my transition from Rolling Out, I was introduced to corporate over at Coca-Cola. The young lady I was messing with at the time, her mom hooked me up basically with a gig, you know, and I went down there and did my thing and got in real good, learned the system real well, and I was working like for a third party company, but I was just a freelancer. I didn't necessarily work for the company.
Yeah.
So the way corporate is set up, I started understanding this corporate language. You know what I'm saying? Although I work for this company, I don't work for this company. So I'm still able to go and do things as a freelancer with the company.
Yeah.
So I was able to work for this company and do things on the side as well for Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? While I was working for this company.
Yeah.
Some may call it a conflict of interest, but when I'm learning about the corporate world,
there ain't no real conflict.
Yeah, how you live, you know what I'm
right.
saying? What corporate ladder you trying to climb? You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
trying to get this bag. So I ended up being able to work out a contract eventually, and got me a contract with Coke, with my production company, and learn how that world works. That was a very demanding but different scenario. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the weak of heart. You know what I'm saying? You really got to go in there and definitely be cutthroat and stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? But
what do you think gave you the edge to like go in with that mentality? Because it seemed like usually you get turned into a cutthroat, not cutthroat, but it's like it seems like you learn the hard way and then you realize like, oh, like actually I got to get it how I need to get it.
Well, experience, man. Experience the best teacher, as they say, with anything and everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to go in. I was young.
Yeah.
I don't even think I was. Yeah, I wasn't even like 23. Yeah, I was like 23 at the time. You know what I'm saying? And we talking about like, you know, damn near $500,000 contracts. You know what I'm saying? And
in your mind, you couldn't fuck that up.
Yeah. Well, no, I know I couldn't fuck it up, but at the same time, I know I had to get it too.
Yeah,
you know, I had to keep it secure. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, it was just interesting. Just I had different situations and stuff with people who used to come at me about my age. You know what I'm saying? You know, we still in the South, man. So, you know, people come to me about, you know, I'm a young black man. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of questionable things that was going on. You know what I mean? But I never let that really get to me. It was just like, okay, this is what comes with the territory. Let me just learn how to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of different obstacles that I had to learn to get over. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I knew what quality of work I was bringing. You know what I'm saying? I knew what kind of professionalism I was bringing. There was nothing nobody could say about that. So my work spoke for itself.
So how long until you said this is with Coke, right? And what was the transition between that and Pop? It's Pop ATL.
Pop ATL.
Right?
Yeah. So the man, Pop ATL was crazy. So basically, the young lady I was with at the time, she wanted to start a t-shirt company, and like I said, I had my production company going, and you know we were just trying to figure out a way how we can kind of work together in a sense. And you know, basically we leveraged our resources and stuff to kind of get the equipment that we needed for the company, and you know, we looked up one day and it was just taking off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were doing things on e-com. E-com it wasn't new, but it was fresh for a lot of people at the time. You know what I'm saying? So we was able to go and we didn't know what we were doing at the time. We was basically just taking stuff off the internet and little designs and putting it up there, but we didn't know it was illegal at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we were getting hit with all kind of cease and desist and all kind of stuff. We didn't know what the hell was going on, but we were still making money at the time. Right?
So we were doing something right.
We were doing something right.
I can't wait to get hit with the cease and desist.
Unless it's Universal Records telling you take that sample off your podcast, or why did you download Schoolboy Q's album?
Right.
These are all the emails I done got.
But
if you get an official cease and desist, like, hey, stop that, you doing something right.
We were getting hit with those because we were taking like celebrity pictures and shit. You know what I'm saying, and just putting them on the shirt and selling them. We didn't know it was something necessarily wrong with that, because we figured we maybe recreate something on the design, recolor or something like that, alter or something like that. And they're like, hell no, one of the music group hitting us up. I remember Beyonce people, bro, like, damn, they the worst, bro. Do not play around with Beyonce, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, her name is like,
that's the queen.
It's secured. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a design that said something like fiance, but it was spelled with a F-E-Y. You know what I'm saying? And they came and ate us up on that. They were like, it's too close. It sounds too close to the name. We're like, bro.
The word's fiance.
Beyonce.
You know what I'm saying? On real shit.
That's crazy.
So, but that was a learning lesson, though. You know what I'm saying? So we took out at it, learned from that, recreated a bunch of shit, made a bunch of more money and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Learned. I was real fluent in SEO because of my background in video production.
Yeah.
Getting those videos and stuff out there from a marketing standpoint. So you apply the same thing, basically with your e-commerce stores. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
So, was you about to say something, Joe? Joe not gonna say nothing.
I am gonna say something. I'm waiting for y'all.
Look, say y'all been talking too much.
I just don't like cutting people off.
So back then, me and Joe were making shirts, but like on a far smaller scale than that. We wasn't getting shirts. We wasn't getting. Yeah, it's funny. We still got that same heat press over there. We got the little whatever. But in 2014 ish, you had started using direct to garment printing,
right?
And that's the first time I had ever seen, like, so the shirts we would be making, we'd be like, man, this sucks. And then we would go to your page and it'd be like, this nigga is making shirts in 3 minutes, and we've been sitting here for 3 hours cutting out goddamn shit.
That them vinyl days, bro. I mean, I still do it too, but the DTG, it was fresh. You know what I'm saying? It was fresh at the time.
It was crazy.
And the company we were with, they were one of the pioneers in that industry. Mm-hmm. And that's a crazy story too, bro, because we were the first company we was going with. I ain't gonna say no names, but the first company that we went with, as far as getting the machines, you know what I'm saying? We were sold. We went out there, did the training, this whole nine. But when we went out there and did the training, it was kind of like
they didn't want you out there.
It was kind of like the mechanics trying to sell you the car. When you go buy you a car, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they brought the mechanic out to try to be the salesman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm asking him all these questions on how to, be proficient and you know what I'm saying, with the machine and stuff. And he basically just showed me all these mechanical ways, like beating on it and all that. I'm like, bro,
just like, hey, we not finna be doing all that, bro. This machine costs like $10,000, my nigga.
Actually, like $35,000 at the time. Yeah. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, crazy as hell.
Oh my God.
So that kind of scared us, and then we was talking with this one company before, so we ended up running back to them, and that was Enerjet, you know what I'm saying? So that's how we ended up kind of getting in good with them. And it was wild, bro, because like I said, DTG was new, and like I said, because of my experience with kind of temper around with those different industries and stuff, I was able to kind of peak game when we tapped into the DTG industry, you know what I'm saying? And the apparel industry, or what do they say? The textile industry is a billion, damn near $1 trillion industry on its own. You know what I'm saying? And once we kind of entered that market on the DTG side, we were getting invited to all these different. Conventions and all this other stuff. They were flying us out of LA. You know what I'm saying? They came to our shop and did an interview on us and all this other stuff, and started putting us in this, put us on YouTube. I didn't even realize that we was kind of like becoming celebrities in the whole little DTG printing world and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going out to these conventions and stuff, and I got these white people and these little Asians and stuff stopping me, talking about, that's him. I'm like,
it's like, I didn't do that.
I'm just a black man.
So exactly right. So they pulling up pamphlets and shit and like pointing at the pamphlet. I'm like, I'm on a pamphlet.
You like, oh yeah, that is me.
All right, yeah.
Check for that.
So I'm like, okay. So that kind of like, helped me kind of, dive a little bit more in that industry and stuff. I was able to talk to a lot of CEOs and stuff. They'll put me on game to how the industry was like moving and changing and different ways it was going and stuff, giving me samples with everything. So I was like, oh damn, I'm just a little black kid from Atlanta. I ain't know y'all, think that I'm some guru in this new field, but apparently it wasn't a lot of us, what I'm saying, down there doing our thing. So they were trying to find a way to market to more younger and people of color and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's really cool, man. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
You finna say something?
No, wait.
Look, I knew you weren't gonna say nothing. So, at some point, the shirts turned into, like, events and entertainment. And at what point did you transition out of, like, the shirt grind to starting to do events? Or am I skipping?
No, you're not necessarily skipping. My life is so random, bro. Like I've been around events my whole life, so they just naturally just come to me. My father's a DJ, you know what I mean. So I done thousands of weddings, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was a videographer, so all I did was events every single day, you know what I'm saying. Growing up in my godfather, he was a magician and he did all. Matter of fact, he did all the proms and stuff. I decorated a lot of the proms in high school. Real shit. He was a decorator and designer and stuff. And so like a lot of the APS schools would hire him to come and do all that stuff. So I was always around events, you know what I mean? So when it came down, matter of fact, it's Michi's fault because he was doing this underground club, whatever stuff he was doing, trying to get his, his little flow going and stuff. He was doing stuff over there in East Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I was working at corporate stuff, and like I said, I was trying to figure out, okay, well, shit, I see how they doing events and they making money. I see we doing events. How can we,
right,
scale our stuff up to where we doing the same thing on the corporate level? So that's kind of where the whole concept came from. And I was like, well, let me figure out how I can bring these same concepts of what I'm learning and bring them over to what, my people's doing over here. And that's, I pretty much started trying to help Michi out, trying to, get his stuff going with that. And as far as PopAclu and the events, I wanted to figure out how to get PopAclu more locally known, you know what I'm saying? Because we were doing our thing online, you know what I'm saying? Everybody around the world, you know what I'm saying, could find our page and stuff like that, but I couldn't get the homie to put the web page, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
And buy a shirt, and he been knowing me for 15 years, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, well, damn, like, what am I doing wrong to where...
Gotta break them off.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So let me start doing some events that are based off of PopAclu, so at least when people start seeing the name, they can at least associate it with something. When they search it, you know what I'm saying, they can put two and two together.
Is that kind of where Atlanta Indie Market got its birth from?
Well, Atlanta Indie Market, we had started that years ago, and then we gave it a break, and then we resurrected it, sort of say. And then that was actually to help boost more attention to PopAclu.
Okay. Gotcha.
But then that ended up growing its own legs, you know what I'm saying? And now it's its own company now, and it's we starting to get employees, and we're looking. I think we possibly, I'm not gonna jinx it, but we're possibly gonna get an office space soon, to where we start establishing more weekly stuff going on versus just the Saturday stuff. So, probably have a few vendors and stuff in there on a weekly basis. They can come and rent out different booths and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
And where all is the Atlanta Indie Market located? Is it in one? Is it have one home, or is it in different places in Atlanta?
Well, right now our whole concept is we literally go to other communities and activate in other communities.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's always in a different place.
Correct. We take uncommon spaces.
Sometimes it's at Starlight. Have y'all done it at Starlight?
We haven't done it at Starlight, but we're not against it.
Because they do one up there. They do an indie market, Starlight movie theater on Moreland.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if that was Atlanta Indie Market.
No, that's not us.
Yeah.
But no,
they do a huge one there though.
yeah, we're not we're not against. I mean, that's the whole thing. We want to do. We want to bring togetherness. You know what I'm saying? Like
y'all about to do one on Bankhead, ain't you? Or
Mm-hmm.
I just passed one of your signs, and I was like, oh shit. On the way here, I was like, oh shit. That's what I'm about to interview right now.
Getting closer to the west side. Yes, sir. Getting closer to the west side.
You gotta ask questions to interview them though. Okay, go ahead.
I said we. And I asked the question. I brought up in. See this man here?
Look, trying to got the jokes for you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But nah, yeah, we right now we're just trying to get in every community possible. You know what I'm saying? In the city of Atlanta, and eventually put it on the road. But you know, it's just trying to merge the community and these businesses, like for real, like not just on a virtual level, but hey, you know, you need to see who's actually behind these products. You need to see who's actually behind these Instagram posts and stuff like that. Sense. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, they need to see who's coming out and potentially buying their stuff. You know what I'm saying? And getting real feedback.
Right.
So that growth can be real. You know what I mean?
It's a tangible part of the interaction instead of it just being a shoot an email over and it's like, oh, this is this person, I know nothing about him, I don't you know what I mean? You still gotta have that connection. A lot of these people are starting out, and you know what I'm saying, either they scared or you know it's hard to get a brick and mortar and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, well, you don't necessarily have to do that right now, but still to get your brand off, you still need to touch and feel the people. So you know, we need to create more situations where that can happen. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the path we're headed towards, just in general, as a society, is it all lives on the internet. So you know,
everything is digital.
The business model that makes more sense is, you know, if you're just doing the numbers, it's like, oh, well, just start an online store. You don't have to fool with space and renting it out and all that. Right. But then from there, you just kind of just be like a digital. You be like an online robot. Though, man.
Yeah, like energy is real,
people
man.
Still gotta get out of the house. People still go to the mall.
There's nothing fun about your product. It's just all on the internet. You can't say, oh, like, oh yeah, I met the. You know, oh yeah, the dude be at the shop. Right. You know what I mean? The guy that makes
there's no life with the product. You know what I'm saying? You can't really take nothing back with it. You know?
Whereas before the internet age, that was the only thing it was. You had to go to someone's physical shop. Now, the dude that owns the bridal shop might not be physically there, but he probably gonna be there at some point during the week. You know what I mean? But we're shifting so far into just the all digital everything age that, like you say, most people don't even consider the life part of their product or the tangible parts or like the community or, you know, it's a lot of white owned brands where their market is us. And I don't think that they even realize. I think in their mind, their market is who they imagine
until they see us with it on.
Until they see until you tap into a community and be like, oh wait, like
that wasn't for y'all.
That
was not for y'all at all.
Right. So you know, it's interesting you say that. Like you really need to know, like you need to tap in with your market. The word tap in had to have come like a kind of cliche, like kind of corny thing, like tap in. Basically, when somebody be like, "Hey, tap in," I'd be thinking like, "I'm not going to do that." Yeah, I'm not going to tap in. But it is important to tap into your market and to the communities. And when you're doing business with somebody, like actually know who the person is. Know they. You want to know who you buying from. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to know what your dollar's supporting.
Exactly. You know, like, and that's my biggest thing is like, you know, everybody on this buy black tip, and I'm definitely with buy black, but it's like, you know, buy local, buy small. You know what I mean? Like, everybody around you doesn't look the same, and you should know that. You should know who's in your neighborhood. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You should know the differences that's going on, so when something pops off, that you guys can have some kind of communication. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not some weird, you know what I'm saying, well, they've always been. Nah, you should know what the heck is going on. They in the hood. You know what I mean?
When shit hit the fan, you ain't just meeting somebody and then being like, well, I ain't never talked to you before, so I ain't gonna fuck with you. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
You wouldn't do that with your neighbors, like the people who live next door to you. So the same people that you're working
sadly,
next
these days people do that. Right, you know, so that's kind of like where we come in. We're gonna make it uncomfortable but comfortable for you. You know what I'm saying? Like let's shake some things up because we don't want things to be so traditional that it leads into a tradition of some weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So how long, you said the Atlanta indie market got revived or rebirthed? or resurrected?
Resurrected, yeah.
Resurrected.
We gave it a break for some years, and then we brought it back.
How long would you say it's been going since y'all resurrected it?
For about 4 going on 5 years now.
Okay, cool. And when did the idea first start?
I think we started in 2012.
Okay.
It's got to be the envy of all markets. It's got to be the best market that.
I appreciate that.
I signed up for some markets that were some were pretty good, but some were some bullshit. And I kept trying to get. It's funny. I had signed up for the indie market, and I was like, man, I'm finally going to the indie market, and I didn't want to do it because I was like, man, I got this bullshit that I'm selling here. I don't want to come up there.
Doing that. Like, it's like that's the whole point of it. Just like, come try it out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's judge free zone. You know what I'm saying?
So I was building up to it. I was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to get there. I'm ready. I'd gone to a couple of markets. I was like, man, I can do the indie market. As soon as I got ready to do, I was like, man, I got to go out of town. I gotta cancel. Like I can't. And then I was like, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm not doing shirts no more. Like it's too
much.
fresh. Like, it was too much on my mental. Like I work full time, so I was like, man, either I can do these shirts full time or I can work full time, and shirts ain't making me no money right now. So like, but I definitely when I get my feet back wet in there, like my first stop is Atlanta Indie Market. Like,
we're gonna be there.
And fortunately, we still have. Me and Joe have been at this shirt thing for close to 8 or 9 years. Of course, we threw in the towel on it after a few years.
Oh, every now and then
it's a niche market, man.
But we have all of that equipment, all of the shirts and stuff. Is all that stuff's over there. So like soon enough. I'm going to be able to be making these shirts. I just ain't been talking about that or promoting it because I'm really focused on this thing. But, like, since you have brought that over this, every time I walk past that, I'm like, bro, you leaving money on the table, bro, because
money on the table. And everybody still hit me up about shirts.
These shirts. And
especially that local money, man. It's a lot of local money. You know what I'm saying? Them nights where you just sitting there and... somebody got a sports team or, a little school or something like that. And they're just like, hey, got time to make 300 shirts, and you just do the math real quick. Like, well, I wasn't doing nothing for the last. Yeah, I make that. Cool
I can make these shirts, so I can be not making no money.
2 bands real quick. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, and nowadays, like with the DTG, like you said, we able to crank stuff out in like less than 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's just got to be the next stop for us before we start cranking them shirts back up.
Yeah.
But
everything serves its purpose. The screen. We still screen print too. You know what I'm saying? When them shirts be coming in with 1,000. 2,000 orders and stuff, and they want 1 or 2 colors. I'm not about to DTG that. Put on the automatic press and call it a day.
Right. So, what other events? I saw that you had. Was it a Caribbean festival?
We had the B Reggae Festival.
Yeah, that was last month, right?
It was in August. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that? Do you do a lot of stuff like that, or was that your first time doing our first time.
Show like that? I've worked a lot of festivals. That was maybe one of the first time I was like that close to being like on the front line of a festival like that. But I've worked a lot of festivals, in the past, on the production side and the planning side. But that was for us to be in the pandemic and everything that was going on like that. That was a very very unique situation.
Yeah.
The team that we had definitely pulled it off. You know what I'm saying?
Well, of course, it's outside too.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus. I'm very, very worried about large indoor events. It's something that's just like I would go if it's like I don't know. Well, it sucks that you gotta think about. Do you want to go to some cool shit?
Well, it was that, and then we just had that crazy stabbing and stuff in the park. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was fresh.
It was like the week before. You know what I'm saying? So we had to do a lot of preliminary stuff.
It's crazy the jury's still out on that.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, is there a serial killer in Atlanta or not?
That's Atlanta for you. There's a lot of stuff just in the area with Atlanta right now. But we can save that conversation for another day.
Oh no, we're gonna go into that right after when we talk about the professional stuff.
Okay.
So what other event? Bonfire.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about Bonfire. What was the transition into becoming a part of that?
Well, I was always a part of Bonfire originally, and then I stepped away.
Yeah.
Years ago. I guess that story will come out one day. Whatever. I'm pretty sure there's a million different stories. But Yeah, I stepped away from it, and then with the transition of what happened, I was asked to come back, and my biggest thing was making sure that everything kind of stayed intact.
Yeah.
Bonfire, internally, what people don't know is more of it's really an internal family, you know what I'm saying, and it feeds a lot of families, you know what I'm saying, internally. So I wanted to make sure that stayed in place, and me and my bro Michi, when we were asked to come back and deal with the situation, that was our biggest thing, and now it's it's growing. You know what I'm saying? We can't find a home right now. We're looking for a home. So if somebody got some property out there, holla at your boy.
The places y'all find be good though.
And that's the beauty of the brand.
Too.
We're able to like I said,
you don't have to drive far. It always be round the corner.
Right. Well, somewhere that is very uncommon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you wouldn't necessarily think we would be there, and that's kind of our unique, approach with our situations, but we ready to get some stability though, and because it's a lot more than just a Sunday night, you know what I'm saying, a lot more than just a Sunday night that I want people to see.
Well, it's certainly become a part of Atlanta's culture. Atlanta has always had its Sunday night spot when it used to be the Velvet Room, and then it turned into this club, and but like for about the past decade at this point. Well, how long you say Bonfire been alive?
We're going on 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah.
I'd say solidly since for the past 5 years, that's been the thing to do on Sundays.
Yeah.
And it's become a part of Atlanta's culture, and I love that it's still intact. And the times I can pop over and see, I'm just like, man, like, they got food trucks and folks selling.
It's definitely grown, man. What people don't know, it actually started for the service workers.
Really?
Yeah. That was the whole premise of Bonfire.
For folks to get off late.
Everybody that worked in the clubs and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really have an off day, so, we created our own off day, and, we weren't making a shit ton of money, so, we weren't about to go buy sections and bottles and all that shit, so we're like, fuck it, we gonna do our own party, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring our own bottles, that sort of, concept. That's pretty much, where it started from, and then it just kind of blossomed to, what
doing
it
the
is.
Super Bowl.
And still doing let's not talk about the Super Bowl. That was.
Yeah, I see you have a lot of headaches doing this.
Well, the thing is when you don't have 100% control of the situation and you're used to moving a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Things, the littlest thing can throw everything off. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. I mean, we have come so accustomed to controlling our situation so much that anything that happens, we know how to patch it up and take care of it. But once we start, working with people and stuff like that, and it kind of opens the door to a lot of room for error, so
too many chiefs, too many people trying, too many hands in the pots,
or too many people who think they chiefs.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
Too many Indians that think they chiefs. Exactly. They need to just do their Indian job.
Just stay in your lane. Let us do our part. You do yours.
I hope that's PC to say that.
Well,
too many indigenous
Too
many indigenous people who think they're chiefs. I'm just joking.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of weird temperature going on out there.
It's so strange. Besides Atlanta Indie Market and Bonfire, is there any other like constant event that you do that I'm leaving off?
Well, I got some stuff brewing. We about to bring back a showcase.
Nice.
Something similar to what was at EAV.
Sure, you can say that.
Okay.
You can say that. And I'm working on working on an art show. Start doing. We also start our night market. That we start doing adults only. So leave the kids at home, find a babysitter. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Tell your chick throw some heels on, and we're gonna be grown and sexy. But we do that usually first Friday, but it's second Friday for November for those dates. And then there's one more thing that I'm doing. It was the art show. It was the showcase. Oh yeah, and the live band jam session.
Where that's in the works.
That's brewing. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool.
Oh, that's brewing. So you'll probably be hearing some of that stuff come out in a couple weeks.
Did I see this band on your Instagram recently? Do you already have the band? I feel like I saw.
Well, it's gonna be a mixture of bands.
Okay. Okay.
So well, musicians, I should say. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? Basically, we're gonna a musicians hangout, sort of say, where
Okay.
they could just pull up, we'll vibe out for a minute, and maybe have like an actual feature or two. But then it's just the musicians just kind of just freestyling, doing their thing,
Nice.
just vibing out.
So what on earth do you do for fun? You seem like every minute of your day is occupied with either doing something or planning something. What?
I guess it's the little things.
Well,
man,
what do you do for fun, man?
I have fun, man. I get out, I sneak out. People see me here and there. It's funny. People be like, hey, they get surprised when they see me out.
Well, that's what I was telling Joe. I was like, I don't know how I haven't seen Brian out. Because, I done pulled back from the outside streets a little bit, I think just naturally because of COVID. I used to be outside a lot, and I'd be like, damn, I be seeing Brian's name on a lot of stuff, but I don't physically see him.
Well,
Where do you be at? Do you be in the rap?
when
You
you
be up in the
doing
rafters
it,
like
man.
Sting, yes.
I be ducked off, bro.
Down there.
Yeah, I be ducked off, man. I let everybody have their fun. I'm a people watcher, so
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I like to sit back and duck off, do my thing, and make sure everybody good. And
Yeah.
if I am happy, in the mood of having fun, you'll see me pop out here and now. But yeah, I'm low key, man. I've been doing this for a long time, so.
Would you say in general you have fun just doing your current?
Yeah, life is
career,
fun, man.
yeah.
Life is fun. You got to make fun out of life. So it's all this stuff is creative. You know what I'm saying? Manifesting. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm taking literal thoughts out of my head and producing them in a sense. So that is definitely kind of it's fun. You know what I mean? It's never a dull moment. You know what I mean? Always something to do.
That's awesome. So I wanted to end it with, this seems to be a common topic I end it with, is you've been in Atlanta your whole life. Have you lived anywhere else other than Atlanta?
Not live, no.
Yeah. What do you think about what Atlanta has become compared to what we once knew?
Or becoming, it's still changing, man.
Yeah, it's
Atlanta,
still changing,
Atlanta,
yeah.
a young city, man. That's what people don't understand. We still a young city, but
True.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of question marks, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of question marks. We came from a very I ain't gonna say quiet, but we still an original city, but we were proud. You know what I'm saying? Now we just kind of just opened up the gates and just let everybody in. So it's like it's a real confusion of what Atlanta is and what it's not. So for me, it's just interesting, man. I sit back and I watch, I listen, I learn, and I just learn how to adapt. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have come from other places and use their knowledge from other places and taking advantage, of the city, you know what I mean? And, I can't get mad at that, but it's like, where is it going? I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's why I'm still here and haven't necessarily went nowhere and shit. I'm kind of curious to see what I can do to kind of keep things, not necessarily intact, but to keep things in the sense to where growth can go, to the real Atlantans, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To the people that's been here through all these random changes, we've been through the Olympics, when they had the Miami situation, New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? And, it's still a big port, you know what I'm saying, just for a lot of, stuff anyway. So, and it's not really physically a big city.
No. we want to pretend like we're capable of doing that,
Right.
but we're not.
Just building on top of each other.
Yeah.
Man, so,
I just don't
you
wanna
got to
see
be
that
aware
happen.
of that, man. So it's like, anything outside of 285 is not Atlanta. Don't let nobody tell you different.
Right. Somebody from New Jersey will tell you that, or from Chicago.
But I'm real curious to see, where it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? That if you take a look now, they building up. You know what I mean? So all this development is going up. So they're gonna make it a metropolis in some shape, form, or fashion. So,
Yeah. I think, and I'm not gonna speak because I'm gonna become a broken record on here, especially after Neiman's last episode. I just was watching through it. We go hard on this subject of gentrification.
Oh, yeah.
What I was thinking about yesterday was my main concern with what Atlanta was compared to what it looks like it's becoming is Atlanta was and is the best opportunity for a young black person in America. You'd rather be in Atlanta than Milwaukee, Wisconsin, if you're young and black.
You want to be anywhere.
Yeah, right. In fact, you'd rather be like on the moon than probably there. Aaron Rodgers don't even want to be there no more. But I'm so worried that the way neighborhoods and communities are slowly being like erased. I'm worried that opportunity, that same opportunity, is also being erased. What Atlanta also used to be is a place that was very affordable, that you could mount your life up and you could build. You can get a good career here. You didn't have to spend a ton for a house. You could get your foundation going here and then catapult. And I think that was a resource that helped a lot of young, successful black people, or people who might be like 50 when they was our age. That was their launch point. Is like, oh, like I can get in Atlanta and still live in a fun city that's full of black culture. But I feel like if we jump to maybe 2030, I just wonder what the framework and the face of Atlanta will look like. Will Atlanta still be this very thriving young black city, or will only the thriving will the already thriving families that have come here be the ones that make it?
It will, and that's the thing. Like, Atlanta is a black mecca. You know what I'm saying? For one, it is a black mecca. You can't go nowhere in the United States.
Yes, truly.
When you come to Atlanta, your eyebrows are definitely gonna go up. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing, though. You know what I mean? Like, the biggest thing about, I don't want to say black people, but just, black people, is we gotta get informed, man. You know what I'm saying? And apply the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, yes, the neighborhoods are changing. Yes, these developers are coming in and wiping the history away. I mean, they are just going ham, yes, but it's because there's nobody in place that's actually trying to assist with the situation. You know what I'm saying? And we can only do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the people that are still in the neighborhoods, they need to get an understanding of what is actually going on. Taking away the emotions out of the situation and really applying, the reality of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
and what realistic options
everybody keeps screaming gentrification and everything. I mean, call it what you want, but I mean, if you ain't paying your property taxes, somebody gonna pay them for you, my dude.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? As ugly or fucked up as it is, that's life. So, if you want to hold on to it, then you got to play the game or understand how to play the game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of older families and stuff holding on to these properties, and they're not doing nothing with them. Nothing. And they're just building everything around them. And it's like, in a minute, eventually they're going to put a city ordinance on you.
For eminent domain.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they want to build a road or expand a road or do something that's...
Or somebody's going to get enough money just to buy your ass the hell out. And you're going to get the hell on anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's like, I get it. And it's black people doing it too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like Atlanta's going to go from an opportunity for most people, particularly young black people, particularly someone not privileged or underprivileged, to just the affluent. Seems like Atlanta's just about to become an elite city.
I mean,
that's where it seems like it's headed towards. And if elite is an overreach, it seems like we're headed more towards elitism here than like inclusiveness for every walk of life, including people like me and you who grew up here.
Yeah.
My main concern now is I grew up in Atlanta. I always dreamed to have a house in Atlanta. All the old people tell you, hey, you stay out of trouble and get you a good job and do this, you can buy you a house and start you a family. And it don't seem like I'm going to be able to do that.
That's the problem. that's the whole problem right there. That was misinformation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was the unfortunate part of our upbringing that we don't want to talk about. We have not talked about yet. You know what I'm saying? That was a lot of misinformation that we received. You know what I mean?
I think also our generation got the short end of a lot of traditional, historically how things happened all the way to a certain point.
Yeah.
Things changed somewhere in the late 90s and the 2000s, and the same thing that would be the pathway to success, that wasn't necessarily the case. And like you say, no one was teaching us about inflation and property and housing markets and retirement, and you know what I mean? It was just like, hey, boys, stay out of jail, and then you can have whatever you want to.
But there's
a
reason for that. We wasn't asking enough questions. You know what I'm saying? We weren't asking enough questions then. You know what I'm saying? Now we are literally now in an era of awakening.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff is just popping up out of nowhere. A lot of information just popping up out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying?
And accessible.
Yeah, very accessible. And if you're not necessarily, like I keep saying, applying yourself to learn, study, and really getting an understanding of what we thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a whole nother family, and our motto is unlearn and relearn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to. You know what I mean? You got to really unlearn and relearn out here, because everything that we've been taught is not necessarily accurate. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to your point, you like, what we thought Atlanta was going to be and all this other stuff, at my surprise, not really. You know what I'm saying? Because I see what's happening. I see why it's happening.
I guess it was obvious that the growth we knew the growth wasn't going to stop after the Olympics came, because they never stopped building after that.
Yeah, Freaknik, shit.
It's just that, in my mind, Atlanta had a cap at like what it would look like. So even when Atlantic Station was built,
you from here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know what the perimeter looks like.
I think everybody who went to Atlantic Station for the first time was like, this is kind of a bit much for Atlanta. Like, it really didn't even feel like he was in Atlanta.
Like, where is this gonna go?
Yeah. So to me, I thought that maybe 2 more Atlantic stations and then they'll just call us quits. Yeah, right. They'll
try about 20 more.
Yeah, and it's just like, no, man. Like, Atlanta has blown up past anybody's imagination.
They're gonna make Atlanta look like Vegas.
Yeah, so
straight up.
It has to.
Strips and everything.
I'm all for the progression and the what they call it, the city's getting a makeover and redevelopment. I'm for all that, but I'm also for people who grew up here and lived here and want to call Atlanta home, not to simply just be outpriced just because the rest of the country just sees Atlanta as a cheap date. Yeah. That's truly is just like, oh yeah, we can take our $500,000 down to Atlanta and buy a couple houses. Whereas in New York, New Jersey, Chicago, you get something that's the size of this place for that.
Well,
there's something that's the size of this living room.
People got to start stepping up and getting a little bit more involved in these politics, man.
Yeah,
you know,
I just wish. But speaking, you kind of took the words out of my mouth. It's like, do we have to tell politicians that this is like do we have to like make them?
That is your fiduciary duty.
Yeah,
yes, you have to keep these people in check. You can't let them come and run the city.
Yeah,
that's the whole. That's another part of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? We have come into this ideology to where we let these figures tell us how to run our life. It's like, well, wait a minute, homie, we put you in place. You need to listen to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how, it needs to go, but you got people putting for sale signs on your city and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. It's a little difficult to try to fight that. You know what I mean? So my thing is like, that's why people really got to get more educated and involved. You know what I'm saying? And, really hold people accountable for this type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, my big thing as a small business owner, my biggest gripe is I look up and I see all this business going out there, all these people that ain't got nothing to do, they don't even have a state of Georgia license to do business, but all this money is just going all over the place. You know what I'm saying? All these, I work with all these artists, artists can't even get the city to back them and get them to do murals and stuff because the city too busy funding people from other countries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a real situation where we gotta hold these folk accountable. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, we paying tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we need to have a real clear understanding of what is the structural understanding and the development understanding of what we're doing in our very own communities. You know?
I think I totally agree with that. I think it sucks that you have to tell someone whose job is to like already be concerned, like to notice the obvious.
Right.
It sucks. You got to tell a politician the obvious thing.
I mean,
and it's like, you know,
but
let's just paint a picture. Kasim Reed probably gonna be the next mayor. You think Kasim Reed gonna further this progress or slow it down? I think it's gonna go like
it depends on how you looking at it. Like I tell everybody, I don't know what our current mayor, you know what I'm saying, got going on, but our city is broke right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Atlanta's doing everything in their power to try to nickel and dime everything that they can. You know what I'm saying? If you're not paying attention to what's really going on, you'll believe anything the damn news tell you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't even watch the news
You
no
believe
more.
anything the AJC tell you and stuff. And it's like, nah, man, you really got to get involved and go to these meetings, these NPUs. You know what I'm saying? Like, really get an understanding of, because this stuff is transparent. It's public information. It's not like they hiding it and they having some secret meetings and shit. Like, people just don't go apply themselves. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff is online because of the pandemic. They have to put this stuff, available for you.
Yeah.
So if people really have a concern, then get the fuck involved. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to me because, you know, I do these community-based events. You know what I'm saying? Obviously for the community, but I need the community to start doing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just,
you can't be the only one.
Yeah,
you can't be the conglomerate.
I'm just starting. I need y'all to finish it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? My thing is like I'm bringing people together so we have to talk. We have to, you know what I'm saying, really get to know each other, know each other's concerns and all this other stuff like that. Cause if we not doing it ourselves, we just letting them do it for us, and that's too much of a filter. I'm not. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my thing is, we need to do it no filter, yo. No filter. That's the whole problem. What we having as a society as a whole. You know what I'm saying? We real people. You know what I'm saying? But then we turn on the Instagram and the news and all this other stuff, and we let these filtered components dictate our thoughts, dictate our conversations, dictate our way of life, all this other stuff. But we really dealing with each other outside of these motherfuckers.
Right.
So we need to create some kind of real connection to where when this filtering process starts happening, we know the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just like you keep saying, why do we have to tell a politician to because they filtering shit down to motherfuckers, and people just like, oh, well, I guess because he says it, this is what it goes. Nah, motherfucker. Like, we need to hold people accountable so your kids, your nieces, your nephews, whoever, as they're growing up, they're not going through the same dumb, retarded shit that we're over here questioning all the time. Like, why is this going on? Because we're not doing nothing about it.
You don't see that kind of stuff happening. Like, it's the perfect example. I'm just thinking about my kids in a school in Cobb County versus in Clayton County. Like, my wife teaches in Clayton County. You don't have the PTA coming together and providing resources and demanding the school do A, B, C, and D. The only thing they're demanding is put these kids back in school so they're not in my house anymore. But in Cobb County, they're like, okay, well, we need to get these babies art supplies, snacks, Kleenexes, everything that they need before they even step into the building. We got to support these teachers so they're not coming out of their own pocket trying to buy all this shit. So it's just kind of a, it's just what you're saying. It takes the community to step out and say, okay, what do we need to do?
Right, because you wouldn't even know that the teachers even going through that. They didn't tell you what the hell was going on. You would think that the school just tripping. They sending you these crazy ass notices.
Like, why do I need to do this? Like, the school knows my child needs art supplies.
Right.
Why am I doing this?
Right.
Well, the school ain't got no money.
Right.
The school ain't got no. So come on out of pocket, or come up to the school and volunteer. Get involved in your community. You're saying exactly what needs to happen. Like,
more action.
Instead of
just let's speak.
And I'm trying. I guess what I say, me and my team, we're trying to be
give
more of an example
of that. Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh,
and all the genres of stuff that we do. You know what I'm saying? We get all the.
You hit all the check marks.
I mean, yeah, cause we do the bonfire. You know what I'm saying? And that's it gets its looks and things, but then we do the indie market over here. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the daytime, and it's
all walks of life. That's reality.
You know what I mean? And that's our biggest thing is like, our success has been our consistency. We have not stopped. I don't know if people think we just getting rich off of this stuff, but the money isn't always necessarily there. You know what I'm saying? But the demand is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it gets to the point where people are like, yo, we need this. Like, damn, just like that. Like, thought we were just doing some cool shit. You know, no, this is
we
needed.
need you to set this market up for us.
Yes. So it's like, okay, we gotta really structure this thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's empowering people's lives. You know what I'm saying? It's creating this community ambience that we keep talking about. You know what I'm saying? So we need to consistently keep this going. So it just automatically just blossoms, grows, grassroots, whatever. But it like as cliche as it sounds, it takes a community.
Yeah. And it takes a community willing to do the dirt, to do the hard work, and to get out and do actions. I think that's the main problem, and we're gonna wrap this up soon. I think that's the main problem with the climate of society today. Is just everything is just talk, everything is just cry about it. Everything is just like have a think piece or thought or a bad take or a Twitter thought about it or Instagram meme about it. But like you could do that forever and then nothing gonna change unless you like put your feet to the ground and get out there and round up your friends and say, hey, instead of like cussing people out on Twitter all day, like let's go downtown to the Capitol and see if we can talk to some of these let's see if we can like arrange a meeting with like the councilmen or go to like
that's
you
how
say
you get the most impact,
MPUs,
man.
See what kind of businesses is about to get open and then if you don't like it, you could vote, you could downvote it. You know what I mean?
You got options.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the thing.
It's a powerful message.
As convenient as this technology is, as easy as it made our lives, it's also then
made us
the
idiots.
handicap is in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like we really. The real power is reality. You know what I'm saying? Like we got this virtual. They keep putting words in front of the reality. You know what I'm saying? You got virtual reality. You got augmented reality. You got all these different types of scenarios that try to take away the real. You know what I'm saying? Out of it, and it's like that's the part as we're growing that we keep forgetting about. There's still a real part. We really got to get attached with each other and stuff because the more filters that come between us, man, it's gonna make it real difficult for us to really understand the difference of what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, that's why stuff like this, I had to come out here. I'm glad we didn't do no virtual kind of, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just sit me on the Zoom link, you know what I'm saying? I'm with all that, but I'm glad that y'all was real, no flex. I need you to pull up, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't seen y'all in years, you know what I'm saying? We ain't.
This is great.
Yeah, this is great, you know what I mean? The energy is good, you know what I mean? Like, we're human beings and we need this, you know what I'm saying? So now we can take this energy and you can go take it to your audience, I can take it to my audience, you know what I'm saying? And we can get some new information, you know what I'm saying? And that's literally how it works, you know what I'm saying? On a consistent basis. But we gotta do it more often than usual, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, we gotta do the hard work. You know what I'm saying? Can't just do it when it makes us feel good, you know?
Right, yeah. And you can't just do it for brownie points or likes or, to make your family feel good or your boss feel good.
Right.
Like, you got to do it because you're doing the right thing. That's a powerful little message you gave there.
Dropped a lot of gems.
Yeah.
You've always dropped gems.
Yeah, right.
Man, every guest we have on here, I try and tell them something that I remember about them and something that, I've taken from them in the past. And you specifically, and it's funny you brought up working at McDonald's. I remember on Twitter, as a matter of fact, I said something about, and this was old Joe. This was like, McDonald's workers don't need to make X amount of money, and you checked me on that. And I was like,
on Twitter?
On Twitter.
That had to be a long time.
Yeah, it had to be a long time because you ain't been on Twitter in forever. And so I was like, let me, and since then and now in 2020, 2021, everybody's like, oh, McDonald's workers need to make $15. And now in reality, that's just not enough money to make.
Right.
Look, on some real shit, McDonald's was the most humbling experience, and I worked a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
Humbling, my dude, because you're doing real labor. You know what I'm saying? Like you picking up 50-pound boxes,
that grease,
taking care of money, grease traps. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with people. You know what I mean? So you getting an all-around work experience. You know what I'm saying? On how an industry level type situation goes. At the time, you was only getting paid $6 an hour.
Man, and you said all that. You said all that to me online, and I had to really rethink to myself. I was like, he's right. Like, this is, you're not working any less hard just because it's McDonald's. You still got to make a living. And like, I've kind of kept my eye on what Brian Flex Wynder's been doing. Like, okay, this nigga knows what he's talking about. Like, he's kind of ahead of the game on this, and just everything you said today is like you've been doing the production shit 5 years ahead of everybody else. Like, you've been doing the shit. The first person to do the DTG. I'm like, man, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm really glad we were able to get you on the show and kind of
I'm honored, man. I'm honored. Seriously.
Well, before we go, you want to tell people where to follow you and then all of the different Bonfire, Atlanta Indie Market. You go ahead.
Anybody want to shout out?
I mean, shout out to the team, to the family, the whole Bonfire team, the Pyro Gang, the Atlanta Indie Market team, my PopAclu family, my brother LaSalle, Yante back at home. They hold me down. They are literally like my left and right hands. And yeah, man, I just follow Bonfire ATL on Instagram and Facebook and Atlanta Indie Market and Pop_ATL if you need T-shirts and any kind of graphic design work. When we out here just trying to work and looking for any kind of positive strategic partnerships. If people out here trying to do some things, we are definitely open into earning and learning. So hit us up. Be ready to work.
Yes, sir.
Brian, I can't thank you enough for pulling up. I know you're busy,
he was in a meeting pulling up.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's how busy
and if you had to text me and be like, Dan, I don't got the time, I'd have been like, bro, we're going to do it. Look, I'll be like, well, I'm going to text you again on the 7th. So, you're definitely one of the guys that I've had on the list that I wanted to reach out to, but I wanted to get some consistency going first.
Gotcha.
So you can at least feel comfortable like, oh, okay. He been doing this since May, and I'm episode 3. Like I don't think I'm gonna come over here.
First one, man. Right. It don't matter, bro. We go back.
So yeah, I really appreciate you coming out, and best of luck with everything. Hopefully, I see you more around the city. I know you be ducked off, but hopefully, I catch you up in the rafters one day and be like, hey, nigga, I'm up here too. I see you up here. Joe, you want to close us out?
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming out. I'm not gonna stumble and be stupid this time, like every other episode. But appreciate you popping up on us today, man. Thank everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, definitely do that.
Subscribe.
You know where to follow both of us at.
Yes, sir.
Me and Joe have some things plotting.
Did you see the show has changed already a little bit? We're making this transition.
Some stuff to 2022 around the corner. Yeah. And you'll see some different changes then. Of course, we just had to make it make sense. And,
our number one thing has been consistency. It's been getting these episodes.
So just stick with us. They're going to keep coming. And whenever y'all got to catch up on them, binge them, whatever you got to do, just please subscribe. Otherwise, you're going to see my Instagram story, and I'm going to be telling you to do that twice a week.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe, man. Support.
Yes, sir.
And and of course, all the things are on the screen. We out. Y'all have a happy holiday.